Is that a sausage? Hold up. Hold up. Murder attempts. Murder attempts. You didn't hurt my sausages, did you? Oh, God. I'm scared. That's not a struggle meal. That's a crime. I don't want to tell y'all my struggle meals. Y'all might cringe. We underestimated his laziness. Oh, no.
Once the noodles are
broken. That broke me. Ah, stop hurting the sausage. Some of those things I didn't need to know. The Irish in me is crying. FutureCanoe is one of my favorites. He's a quiet boy. He's a quiet boy.
As the title suggests, this is another episode of Struggle Meals. It's always good to keep
Struggle Meals. And for those of you who are curious, I think he just speaks in monotone, which is kind of cute.
struggle meal recipes around because you never know when life is gonna kick you in the crotch, give you a wedgie, and spit on your face. Over the past few weeks, I received a lot of recipes from all of you. Today, we'll make them, try them, and rate them 1 through 10. I divided the recipes up into 4 categories: rice, instant food, pizza, and murder attempts. These
murder attempts! Murder attempts! Oh God, I'm scared.
So weird that I can't really tell if it will change my life for the better or you're just trying to kill me. First recipe is called mug pizza from Teen Artist. We're using my annoying roommate's mug that says no coffee, no talkie. He thinks he's quirky, but we're just lame. 4 tablespoons.
He thinks he's quirky, but we're just lame.
Of flour, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/16 teaspoon of baking soda. Who measures like that?
I think it's cute. His voice is cute.
Some salt, mix all the white ingredients, we'll move on to the wet ingredients, which is just milk that I got for myself and some olive oil. Turn that into a paste, we'll top it with whatever we like. Obviously we're gonna go with a lot of never-ending raclette. Finally, we'll just throw it into the microwave for 1.5 minutes. Do you think my microwave's clean? Here it is, the mug pizza. Smells better than it looks, but let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. Tastes kind of like an overly moist biscuit or a really savory cake. The cheese definitely saves the day. As a struggle meal, it's a solid 6 out of 10. The tortilla crust is a little unstable, so we're gonna stack them up. And our first step is to put them in the oven to get crispy. And to make it more authentic, we'll top it off with tomato puree and never-ending raclette, just like how Ashley White's Nana used to do it. And then back into the 400-degree oven for about 8 minutes. My annoying roommate's watching TV, so there's a lot of background noises. But trust me, this thing is really crunchy. This actually looks like one of those flatbread pizza they sell at Domino's. Just tastes like a low-end frozen pizza, definitely cheaper. So on a struggle meal scale, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
As I'm pulling out the other half wheel of
you used to make tortilla pizzas. I don't want to tell y'all my struggle meals. Y'all might cringe. I
noticed something horrible happened. Then I started thinking, raclette's already fermented and covered in mold, so more shouldn't hurt, right? We'll just cut it off and use it for this recipe, and whatever happens to me after the video, I'll keep you guys updated. If I stop posting for a while, you wouldn't be surprised. We also need some kimchi and corn.
Poor baby!
Raymond also asked for I give a second chance to QP mayo, but since we already have the raclette, I'm gonna skip it, because if the never-ending raclette and the I give a second chance to QP mayo is ever in the same bowl, the universe will explode. We'll put another tortilla on top and sear both sides on medium-low heat for 3 minutes. Yeah! This is the best looking one so far. I have high hopes for it. Cheese nicely melted. Let's give it a taste. The acidity from the kimchi and the fattiness of the cheese has a nice contrast going on. My only complaint is the lack of protein, but you know, it's a struggle meal. It tastes amazing, but it's not that easy to make, so I'll give it an 8.5. Moving on to the instant food segment.
Ramen burrito. Ugh. That's not a struggle meal, that's a crime.
Things scream struggling more than canned beans and ramen noodles, so we're gonna put them together and make it into a burrito. Look Egg also asked for cheddar cheese and dry parsley. I'm gonna skip those. I'll just microwave some Taco Bell fried beans, cut up some pepper, and pretty much all of the flavor in this burrito come from my favorite ramen, Indomie. I should make a dedicated video for it. We'll go a layer of beans, pepper, and noodles. roll it up. I've been seeing a lot of comments lately accusing me of being obsessed with cross sections. My response to that is, you're right. And this one is
You're right.
good. The refried beans gets kind of creamy intertwined between the noodles. Creates a pretty interesting texture. And the pepper has the freshness that I desperately needed. But I'd rather eat Indomie on its own, so I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10. This one scares me a little bit. Our boy Amir calls this soy oats. You're right, it sounds exactly like what it is. It starts off normal. To some oats, we'll add some water, boil till creamy. Now it gets weird. Amir wants me to put broth powder and some sunny side up eggs. When he mentioned sunny side up eggs, he added he trusts me. That's a reference to my streak of not being able to cook a single egg properly. I'm sorry to tell you, Amir, you underestimated my laziness because I'm about to replace both the broth powder and eggs with miso paste. I understand where you're going. It's just a savory oats, so I think it'll do. Finally, some soy sauce. Stir that together, and we're done.
We underestimated his laziness. Oh no!
Done. Here's what I call the healthy lunch for a Japanese horse. So when it first entered my mouth, I kind of wanted to spit it out. But the more I chew it, the more I realize it's really flavorful, and maybe oats is supposed to be savory. It reminds me of one of those Chinese porridge thing that they serve at Cantonese restaurants. Better than I expected, but I'm not gonna take a second bite. 7.5 out of 10. This one is said to be
the more I chew, the more I liked it, but I'm not gonna eat it anymore.
Traditional family recipe called the milk soup. It's ironic how it's a family recipe, but my dad's still not back with the milk. While the milk is coming to
Poor baby.
a simmer, we'll add some sugar, and I don't know what these noodles are.
He's a horse
so I'll go with
confirmed
the
indeed.
ramen noodles. It's all noodles, they should be similar. Once the noodles are cooked, it's ready to consume. It's just hot milk and sugar and instant noodles with nothing else, no seasoning. And I'm gonna taste it and rate it 1 through 10. I'm gonna put this in my mouth.
I'm gonna put this in my mouth. Thank you, Day.
Now back to the small pot, we'll spray in some oil and put it on high heat, starting with scrambling some eggs. Now when the eggs are cooked, we'll put in some diced tomatoes. I just dice them really fine. We'll
I'm sure.
season it with soy sauce and water. And again, come
Your laziness let you puree a tomato.
with a whole packet of Indomie. I feel like with this, we're exiting the realm of struggle meals, so it's okay to go above and beyond with this one. Cheese pull and tomato sauce. This is like if you had lasagna for dinner and threw it up later that night. So let's give it a taste and rate
Don't
it
say
1
it
to
like
10.
that.
I've always been a big fan of the tomato and egg combo, so coming into it, I knew it was gonna be decent. It's kind of like shakshuka or that Chinese dish.
It does sound good though. Tomato and eggs really do work well together.
I'm gonna give it a 6.9 because it has too many steps. This is an important category because I just learned that 20% of all calories consumed by human beings on Earth is in the form of rice. That means 1 in every 5 calories. No wonder why egg fried rice can become its own niche on YouTube. Our first recipe is from bechamel sauce. Is this short for bechamel sauce? He calls it vomit rice. Yum.
Why would you call it struggle meal? Calm down. Drink some tea. Pour some more tea. Yeah, I need a new tea kettle. This one is so small. It only gives me 2 cups. Shut up. Don't rip me. That is an improvement, though, if it's a coffee. I only get like 1 cup out of the coffee, so I guess this is okay.
Some of these old sushi nori into a pot, then some instant noodle seasoning. Obviously Indomie again. 1/3 of water. of a cup or of the pot. Put it on the stove to simmer and stream in an egg. Kinda similar to the technique from egg drop soup. The smell of the seaweed and egg combined is really coming through, like a polluted beach with sulfur. After 30 seconds of stirring, we will add the rice and let it sit for 45 seconds before pouring it out. Not gonna lie, bechamel sauce nailed it with the name. The only difference between this and vomit is the reflective acidity. Let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. Tastes like the combination of a seaweed miso soup and porridge, so things I don't enjoy. But the ramen seasoning packet really saved it. I think this only tastes good if you're cold and starving. 7.2 out of 10. The next rice recipe also has a great name. Anna calls it the thick risotto. I can already feel Italian hands coming on my face just by deciding to make this dish. All we need to do is combine cooked rice, cream cheese, mozzarella, she meant never-ending raclette, oregano, and ketchup. We'll mix everything together and put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Honestly, I think the name of the previous dish is more fitting here. Maybe I should post this on Instagram and tell everybody it's risotto. Nah, I don't want to be.
Greetings, High Lord Green. Hi,
Companion. Really thick and sounds like a good mac and cheese.
Sonic was in Cookie Run Kingdom. He was. There was an event for him.
It does have the consistency of risotto, but the overall flavors reminds me of Wegmans sushi rolls. I'm a fan of cheesy rice, so I'll give it an 8.6 out of 10. I know it doesn't look good, but it tastes decent. You can add some protein in it, and it's a complete meal. Now to the land of diabolical ideas, murder attempts. Surprisingly, these are the simplest dishes of the day. Starting with the OJ goldfish cereal. Yup. It's exactly how it sounds. So the normal cereal procedure, believe me when I tell you, there's no goldfish in my local grocery store. So once we pour the juice, cheesy fish will be replaced by the extra toasty square with a hole in it. This is like the medicine for calcium deficiency or a sign of mental instability. So let's try it out.
Alright, I added an electric tea kettle to my throne.
But I'm digging this a lot. Normally when I eat Cheez-Its, it's always too dry. My throat is extremely experienced with swallowing, but they still manage to give me salty surprises sometimes. So with the moisture from the OJ, it balances it out. I guess cheese and fruit has always been a good combo. 8.3 out of 10. Aya claims this is a Filipino classic, the Milo over rice. I have no idea what Milo.
I'm broken. That broke me. Or Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its? Don't worry, you'll never be subjected to torture by me.
I'm a fan of Ovaltine because it's British and Milo's Canadian. Considering
Milo's Canadian
candy, I'm sure this wouldn't be that bad. We just put a couple scoops of Milo powder on top of cooked rice and eat it just like this. Well, it's definitely not bad, but it's not good either. I'll give it a neutral score of 4 out of 10. I feel like I just wasted my jaw energy. Majabin gave us 2 recipes. I'm only gonna make the first one, which starts with an egg in a mug. Seems to be a theme of this episode. A little bit of sugar and 2 teaspoons of powdered milk. Gonna go with Milo. Is Milo milk? Mix it all together and put it in the microwave for a minute. When it's done, I'm a little bit confused by its looks. So jiggly. Doesn't feel like something you should be putting into your mouth, but it's basically a sweetened egg with a little bit of coagulated egg white on top. Last but not least, we have the most straightforward instruction ever. Takis dipped in Nutella. Somehow every struggle meal episode
understandable
ends with a bag of Takis. But as a wise man once said,
I would like to Taki, she on the phone.
For such simple instructions, let's get straight into the trying it and rating it 1 through 10. While my body is confused, but my mind is pleased. The Nutella kind of masks the pungent flavors from the Taki seasonings and mellows it out with the creaminess. Combined together, it makes the Taki smoother and the Nutella more exciting. 9 out of 10. This is kind of life-changing. Is that why Leon dyed his hair Taki color? Because I'm thinking about doing the same thing. I offered some to my roommate, but got rejected. You probably wouldn't believe me either, so why don't you try it for yourself? Anyways, it's always great to test out your recipes. Makes me realize everybody everybody's so creative. I apologize that
Everybody's so creative.
We'll do more of these videos in the future. These creative struggle meals aren't just about saving money or struggling. I see them
one more,
as
guys.
all of your innate ability to make the best of a bad
One more canoe.
or find joy within the harshness of life. As I've said it before, remember, the most important part of a struggle meal is to eat.
Let's do this one. Let's do another subscriber meals. And then we'll watch, next time we watch it, we'll do the 100-hour recipes and stuff. Is that a sausage?
Now let's taste it and rate it 1 through 10
Hold
and
up.
see what flavors awaits. Now let's taste it and rate it
Hold
1
up.
through 10 and see what flavors awaits.
You didn't hurt my sausages, did you?
Like my extremely flexible standard of dating, we've all tried to satisfy our needs with low quality means. You might
Understandable.
think that a struggle meal is out of desperation, but with creativity and passion, it can actually taste like a normal meal. Whether or not you're
Why did he phrase it like that?
still struggling, you should keep these recipes
He
around.
thought about it. He was like, a normal meal.
Because you never know when life is just gonna kick you in the crotch, give you
It gives me the same, like, imagery that the Adventurous shorts do with oil.
a wedgie and spit on your face. So a lot of you on
have good
Instagram give me
food.
a recipe.
Don't eat a
today
struggle
we'll
meal.
make them, try them, and rate it 1 through 10. And the winner is gonna get a prize. That is this apron right here. We have on the menu today 3 appetizers, 4 entrees, and 3 desserts. Let's get started. So our first appetizer is popcorn chicken, but instead of fried chicken,
demon
in the shape
meal.
of popcorn,
I want a demon meal.
it's popcorn covered
Hey, yo.
in chicken bouillon. Well, excuse me, it's actually better than bouillon.
Nice job, team.
Since the paste is too thick,
Nice
we'll
job,
incorporate
team.
some butter into it to make it like a sauce.
Wait.
Popcorns is popcorn covered in chicken bouillon. Well, excuse me, it's actually better than bouillon.
Better than bouillon, chicken bouillon.
Nice
Okay.
job, team.
Since the paste is too thick, we'll incorporate some butter into it to make it like a sauce. Once it looks sort of homogeneous like this, we'll move on to the plating. Pour the popcorns into my mug/cup. Give the sauce a little stir so it doesn't completely look like throw up. Finally, we'll drizzle it over. You gotta make sure it's elegant because it's a struggle meal, but we still have our dignity over here. And carefully mix it up, make sure nothing spills. And now it's time to grab a handful and give it a taste. We'll rate these dishes on 2 scales today: the taste and how easy it is to make. As we expected, it tastes like buttered popcorn with a hint of meat in there. So it makes me feel like I'm not eating a snack, but rather a legit meal. But it's definitely not filling and a little boring. Popcorn chicken. 3 out of 10 for taste and 4.5 out of 10 on easiness. Moving on. I named our
Wait, so what's the scale? Is the highest 5?
next recipe, cinnamon bread. Basically, you take a piece of white ass bread. Yes, I use the end piece here because it reminds me a lot about myself. How everybody wants to toss it before giving it a chance. We'll put a slice of cheese and top it off with some cinnamon. But as I'm putting it on, I realize my cinnamon smells kind of weird.
Human!
Alright, now we have the actual cinnamon. We can dust it off and then broil it. So I'm too lazy to turn on the oven and wait for it to come to temperature, so I'll just blowtorch it. So this is what it looks like. It kind of reminds me of that time when I did a really good job cleaning my stove.
I've done this before. We have a old toaster, and I will put some cheese on it, and then I'll dust it with garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. And then I'll turn it over to where it's on its side and slide it in after enabling it. And then when I hear the doop, it'll push it out just a little bit to where I can grab it. And I'll grab it and I'll eat it.
Sponge. I'm not gonna knock it till
Shut
I
up,
try
yeah.
it.
Sonic EX, not regular Sonic. Okay.
Well, the cheese is actually melted. And the spices on top actually gives it like a curry taste. 2.3 for taste and 3 for easiness. Alright, our third app.
So I'm guessing 5? I will say that he used American cheese. I usually use like the Alfredo cheeses and stuff, like the sprinkly cheeses.
Appetizers curry corn, starting with a whole can, drained. I drove across America from San Francisco to Boston once, and that is when I learned that there's more cornfields than people in this country. After it's drained, mix in mayo, curry paste, and a little bit of cheese. Microwave it for about a minute and a half till you start to get confused whether
I
this
don't
bowl
think
is
they
for
mean
your
that
horse or
kind
you.
of cheese, but okay.
It's very creamy and spicy, overall a good dish, but I think it tastes just as good eating it straight out of the can. So curry corn, 2.5 and 4. I never order vegetables at a restaurant because
Vegetable tastes like sap.
but we're going to give this dish
Vegetable tastes like side. It's true.
a shot since it only requires 3 ingredients. Hopefully Miguel doesn't let me down. I don't have crispy water, so I'm using crunchy water and then some paprika. And I don't have lemon, so I'm using some lime. Ligma fork till combined, and let's give it a taste.
Oh, that was nasty.
I don't really understand what I just put in my mouth. It's literally just straight up vegetables. 0 out of 5 for taste. Well, 5 out of 5 for easiness. And if you're watching this, Miguel, send me a DM. I want to make sure you're okay. Now we have arrived at entree round. First,
That's the one that worries me. That one worries me, guys.
dish being sausage
I like salad too.
casserole from Leon. When I first saw it,
Why does it look like a crime against sausage?
I thought he sent me a picture of a bad situation. Well, he didn't send me any recipe, but from the looks of it, it's just gonna be 1 tortilla, a layer of beans. Check out this bean water. Very appetizing. I think of it as a protein shake for the apocalyptic time. And for our final ingredient, I'll grab real quick from my bedroom.
You grab real quick from your bedroom. That's joke, right?
Alright, now let's unwrap it so we can have some fun. We'll gently push it on top and voila. Do you guys think I should send a picture of this to the Michelin guide? Let me know in the comments. And just to be consistent with Leon's picture, we're gonna garnish it with some franks. Now it's time to get the party started.
That's a crime. To jail. To jail.
This is the worst thing I've ever tasted. And that sentence carries a lot of weight if you've been watching my channel for a while. I think I probably messed up the recipe or got the wrong ingredients, but I don't want to try that again. This also marks my only unpleasant experience with the sausage. To calm myself down,
Eyebrow there.
let's move on to the mashed potatoes or pomme de terre puree. McLovin over here call it oatmeal mashed potatoes, and there's no potatoes in it. So I'm gonna assume this recipe makes oatmeal taste like mashed potatoes, which kind of confuses me because why would you substitute a cheap and accessible ingredient with an equally cheap and accessible one? Once all the seasoning and milk is put in, we'll mix it really well and microwave it for 2 minutes. And this is the finished product. It got a little thicker, and I totally didn't expect horse feeding to be a prevalent theme in this video. Very pleasantly surprised. Oatmeal is very flavorful and kind of creamy. I've never had savory oatmeal before, but this is a life changer. It kind of tastes like a mix between mashed potatoes and creamy polenta. 4.3 and 4. Highly recommend.
I'm guessing 5 is the max.
I'm still a
Not
little
bad.
traumatized, but unfortunately our final entree
Stop hurting the sausage. The Irish in me is crying.
requires a sausage. Alejandro gave very clear instructions. We just mash up a sausage with mayo and spread it on the piece of bread. So I got another one from my bedroom. We'll first take it out. And then cut it into really small pieces. And then mixing mayo, and again with 2 pieces of white ice bread. Just 3 ingredients, mayo, sausage, and bread. But I think it's looking pretty good. The secret to making any sandwich taste instantly better is to slice it down diagonally. Here's the cross section of the sandwich. I feel like they can easily charge you $7 for something like this down at 7-Eleven. And don't judge me for how I bite it. A little bland, but it tastes pretty good. And since this is the only dish so far that has all micronutrients present, I'll give this sandwich a 4 and a 3.2. Definitely not gonna impress the bullies at the lunch table. Before we move on to the desserts, I'll give you a quick update on the bug situation. So last week I trapped the gnat and I asked you guys to give me name suggestions. I received a lot of great options, thank you. I ended up naming it Natalie. However, this week it has a new name. Dead Natalie. Now I'm gonna quickly wipe these tears away and start our first dessert, a Oreo cookie crumble. Since I don't have
struggle meals or desserts are where you actually struggle meals actually work.
Oreo, I'm gonna use the cookie dough that I made 2 weeks ago. So the idea is we crush up Oreos, add baking soda and milk, and microwave for 2 minutes. Since there's already a lot of baking soda in my cookie dough, I'm just gonna cut it in half, add a little bit of milk on it, and microwave. So this is what it looks like after 2 minutes in the microwave. It looks more like a cookie than a cake, and I already see the comment section correcting that sentence to it looks more like a dookie than a cake, which I agree. So the texture is not nearly as good as a cookie or a real cake, but
because you used up your freaking cookie dough. I know what that's supposed to look like. It ain't supposed to look like that.
It is a really fast way to make a cookie. You don't have to like preheat the oven or anything. And it has a lot of sugar in it, which I'm addicted to. So cookie crumble.
That's a struggle meal.
Is gonna receive 3.7 and 4. Now it's time for the healthiest dish of the video, the apple pie. Cutting up an apple, cooking in a pan along with some sugar.
You know what? It makes sense, Dayton. You're struggle desert.
And cinnamon. Too lazy to move to the stove, so I'm gonna use a burner. Once it's getting a little caramelized, we'll cut off the crust of some white ice bread, lay down the filling, and seal it up nice and tight with the Ligma fork. I guess the recipe is going for more like a McDonald's type of apple hand pop. This really just shows that you can turn white ice bread into anything you want, like pie crust, puff pastry, pizza dough, couch cushion, you name it. You can also sniff it to get high. And the surprising thing is,
some of those things I didn't need to know.
If I close my eyes, this actually tastes like a McDonald's apple pie. The warm apple filling and the soft bread. This deserves a fork throw. 100% on taste and 3.5 on ease of making. Here comes the final recipe, which requires the most amount of ingredients as well. All you need to do is mix all the ingredients together and microwave it. Pick a spoon to measure. I'm going with tablespoon and mixing 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, and a small pinch of yeast, which I do not understand why, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 2 tablespoons of oil. I ran out of oil, so I'm gonna put in a little bit of butter and just stuff it down there. Once homogeneous, into the microwave for 2 minutes, it should look like this. It kinda looks like one of those brownies the creepy guys used to sell in front of my high school. And just like back then, my instinct tells me to shove it in my face. It is way jigglier than I expected. The flavors are very good. This is not too sweet. And just like many things and activities I enjoy, is calling for some whipped cream or frosting. Overall, this just tastes like a really...
He needs to stop with all this capping.
really dense sponge cake.
I'm like going crazy over here. I'm like, what?
For both taste and ease. Oh, look at that. That's the entire menu. As we know...
So you like the popcorn chicken, the potato puree, and the apple pie.
Saw Michelin
I'd give the chocolate fudge cake a better score.
With the end of dinner surprise course. As we also know, I cook Michelin level food. So we're going to do a bonus recipe. This onion tart recipe is from 987.
Why do I feel like hate you all for including onion stuff.
765 Court. I love it when you guys have username just as NPC as mine. We'll pay this recipe extra respect and follow it a little closer because it used the ultimate technique of condensing.
I'm called
Trust
out,
me,
guys.
bro, with 3 O's. As it instructs, we'll mix half a cup of milk with some sugar, tear up 2 pieces of bread, and stuff them down. I'm assuming the same container. We'll microwave this mixture for 2 minutes. While we wait, we'll finally mince an onion. Well, I only have half, so we'll just put that on there. And finally, we'll garnish it with a layer of ranch and a layer of Takis. You know, I always see people eating this, but what are Takis?
They're like little taquitos. Baby taquitos.
I would like to talk to you on the phone.
So here we have a cup of milk, bread, raw onions, ranch, and Takis. You know, I usually try to keep an open mind, but this is pushing it a little bit. I'm gonna use the Ligma fork to grab it to keep me safe. It kind of looks like a strawberry flavored dessert, except it's gonna be spicy. Now let's taste it and rate it 1 through 10 and see what flavors awaits. Before I completely go away, I just like to announce the winner of today, the apple pie recipe. Congratulations to Sovio. I'll contact you to figure out a way to give you the award. Thanks to everybody who shared the recipe with me. Didn't get to all of them this time, but would love to in the future. A struggle meal doesn't need to look good, doesn't even have to taste edible. It serves us as a reminder of the time of life when things cannot get any worse. To be grateful for what we have now. I hope you never have to make any of these recipes I just showed you, but if you ever do, remember,
I will say that the chocolate mousse cake,
a struggle meal,
that's not a struggle meal.
With a heart full of hope.
That's a treat.
Right, thank you.
Hello, FutureCanoe. Give him a like and a follow. Holy crap. I didn't mean to change that. Ignore the stuff. Give me a like and follow if you want. Not that I care. Big smoke bomb. Bye.